Welcome to the new podcast, episode number 49. My name is Steven. I am joined, as always, by producer and co-host extraordinaire Kelly. My man, let's get to it. What a week we have coming up, folks, and that has gone past. With the return of football, college football has been really heated up. NFL going down next week. Tons of wrestling events went down this weekend as well, with NXT UK Cardiff going head-to-head against AEW All Out, which was quite a good show. A lot of people are talking about that. Huge show that went down for AEW. And boxing and MMA that went down last weekend, Kelly. We had kind of it's obviously Labor Day weekend for all of us North American folks. I don't know if they get it in Mexico. Do you think they get it in Mexico, Kelly?
I don't know.
I think they get actually more vacation days than we do. I'm pretty like national holidays and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get Labor Day. I'm sure they do. Either way, all of our Mexican fans listening in Mexico, happy Labor Day. Buenas noches. Let's get to some MMA news. I think one of the biggest announcements was ONE FC announcing their 100th card going down October 13th. ONE FC 100 set for Tokyo. Huge announcement coming down October 13th, going down in the iconic Ryogoku Kozukan in Tokyo. So that should be cool. Lots of fights announced for. Bibiano Fernandez will fight on that one against Kevin Bellington. Now he's got a cool name, the Silencer. Not a bad nickname for a fight. That's pretty cool. Even Brandon Vera will challenge for the light heavyweight belt. So we'll see Brandon Vera try to be the two-weight division champ. Obviously, there's really no competition at heavyweight. And the dude he's fighting at light heavyweight, the Burmese Python, Ang El Sang, is going to be he's from Myanmar. He's a tough dude. He's a big guy, too. So I think Brandon Vera is going to have his hands full on that one. Actually excited to see it, and we'll see who else they announce for it. I'm sure they'll still add in a few little extra dudes on the bout. There also will be a Grand Prix for kickboxing is what they're going to do, Kelly. So that should be a little interesting, even though if history has shown these MMA organizations that have kickboxing mixed in, they don't really do all that well. We saw Bellator do it a few years back, with the 2 rings, which I thought was kind of cool. But I don't think it was that successful of a card. People don't want to see 2 nobody kickboxers, spar for 3 rounds or 5 rounds or anything, really. So it's one of those things where you need the names. It's like everything in all of sports, you need the names. And there just isn't really that many names in kickboxing anymore. With K1 dying, all those dudes kind of retired. And unless the only way they can do it, Kelly, is bringing over an MMA fighter to fight in kickboxing, which usually doesn't work out too well.
Taking someone from Glory, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Glory. Maybe the Glory guys with that dude at 170, call that Jorge Masvidal.
Or Nate Diaz.
Yeah, or Nate Diaz. Yeah, Nate Diaz, yeah. Yeah, still, I don't see him doing good at all in MMA, you know what I mean? But still, he's a tough, you just don't really see the competition at Glory. I've watched a lot of Glory cards recently, and they've been underwhelming. Very underwhelming, to tell you the truth. They had a good little roll there. They had some heavyweights come in. There were a lot of green guys, but I actually enjoyed that. That was the last time I actually enjoyed, was when they had that heavyweight tournament, and it actually turned out pretty good, but I just don't see it. And it is a featherweight kickboxing tournament, too, so it's not going to be the biggest dudes, but it will be action going down. ONE FC 100, October 13th in Tokyo. Speaking of the heavyweights, a fight announcement that came down this week, Kelly, that I'm really excited for. Frank Mir will be taking on Big Country Roy Nelson. I'm super excited for that fight. 2 older dudes, obviously, but I think someone's going to go to sleep. 2 great grapplers. I really like that one for that matchup. And 2 dudes who have hands, and maybe their jaws aren't what they used to be, obviously. I'm actually excited for that one. I think I'm going to take Frank Mir, though. I think Frank Mir desperately needs a win. And I'm going to take
Big Country.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. We got it. We got a bet going on, making it a little interesting. It's going to be tough for either or. Dude, how healed is Frank Mir from breaking his jaw not too long ago, really, Kelly? And what kind of Roy Nelson are we going to see? We've seen Big Country lose a lot of fights recently, but he's obviously got to be hungry for that paycheck as well. Literally hungry for that paycheck, right? Because you can only have so many losses, no matter who you are, how big of a name you are. you like lose 8 fights in a row, BJ Penn. You know what I mean? And people are gonna really start tuning you out. That's obviously, you know what I mean, why, you know, it was huge news this week as well. BJ Penn not involved in just one street fight, multiple street fights throughout the week. People are calling him out. Obviously, people are, you know what I mean, people in the bar. He's obviously going to bars, acting a fool probably, and getting in. You know, the fact that he's getting into these scraps with people is just insane. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely insane. And it's obviously because of that. People are calling him out. People aren't afraid of BJ Penn. His aura is gone because he has 8 losses in a row.
Did you see the one where he got knocked out?
I haven't seen that one. No, I've only
knocked out.
Wow. Was it a big dude?
It was like a fat.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, no offense. It was an overweight man with really skinny arms. No offense.
Did he get back up, or did his boys have to like drag him away?
He got knocked back and hit his head on the pavement and did not get up.
Wow.
But he looked super drunk.
Right.
Like, in his defense, I don't think he could lift his own arms to begin with. He looked super drunk. He was like the drunkest BJ ever.
Wow. Wowzer. Guys got to get cleaned up here. Do something, you know what I mean? Why are you going to go to the bar?
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. If I was like a millionaire and you know what I mean, had a lot of nice shit, I would probably like make my own like private club bar. You know, just my friends could come over.
Yeah.
And it'd be a place where I could always drink.
And your street record's starting to look like your UFC record.
Oh, wow. Wow. Straight fire coming at you. Holy
He still
moly.
kicked my ass while he was drunk.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's losing a lot of fights. He's 2-4 in the streets right now. Quick turnaround for BJ Penn. He just fought last night. He's fighting a hangover and some dude.
And some dude.
Oh shit. BJ Penn. What is wrong with you, man? Too funny. Who do you think wins between BJ Penn and Roy Nelson?
Oh, Roy Nelson.
Speaking of psychoticness, we see Henry Cejudo calling out Dominic Cruz. Kind of had a weird thing. Did you see it, Kelly, on Twitter? He had like this weird video where he was telling all of his belts a bedtime story. And it was they all had diapers on. It was a little, if you haven't seen the video on Twitter, check it out. It is odd. Like, I was a little bit, like, I thought Henry Cejudo had kind of been doing some cool PR stunts recently.
Yeah.
This one I thought was a little bit out to lunch. I didn't know, maybe he should have ran it past his buddies first before he did this video. Because it's kind of cringy, to tell you the truth. So he's telling them all a bedtime story, and then he's he calls out Dominic Cruz in it. It's kind of a bedtime story about how good he is and how he's the greatest in the world. But he calls out Glass Dominic Cruz is who he wants to fight next. I think it's an easy call out, really. Kind of an odd call out. I don't know. Even with Dominic Cruz's injury problems, I'd almost see Dominic Cruz taking that match. Just for the size mismatch alone. We haven't really seen Cejudo go up against like that tall and big of a 135-pound fighter. I think Dominic Cruz welcomes it. That's all I'm trying to say. I think when it comes down to it, I think he says, fucking easy money. I'll take that. A good chance to get the belt back. Are we going to see the Dominic Cruz that beat up Uriah Faber twice? Probably not. But I think we will see a Dominic Cruz that really has nothing to lose. At the end of the day, Kelly, he's really got nothing to lose, and he's going to get paid. I'd take that fight all day long. Do you think Cejudo walks through him, though, or do you think Dominic Cruz has a chance, Kelly?
Oh, man, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah.
That one, I'm not so sure of.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's an easy pickup for Dominic Cruz. Go for it. The one thing that is crazy coming out of this is that Dana White now wasn't very pleased with this video, and actually was upset by the video, saying that, hey, start calling out people at 125 or we're going to strip you the belt. And I'm just kind of confused with this 125 belt and division still even being talked about. You let your biggest champ, the biggest name in the division, the biggest 125 pounder in the world and in history in Mighty Mouse, and then you're going to still continue on this division? I'm kind of confused by this whole thing. I thought the division was dead. In my opinion, it should be dead. Are they gonna just have? Sorry guys, but you're gonna have to move up to 135. I'm just have no interest in 125. Henry Cejudo has been the only bit of interest in this division in quite a long time, in my opinion. And just to even be talking about it, give him another super fight, I guess. Who does he even fight at 125? Who?
No one.
There's no one. Formiga? He already beat he's already fought Formiga. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird, like, you know what I mean? It's just
John Dodson.
For like the 10th time. So it's just weird. But even Dodson's kind of left the division. He's moved to 135. So it's just one of those weird things. Why even threaten the guy with getting rid of him for a division that no one gives a shit about? Yeah. Go ahead, strip that belt. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and strip it. You know what I mean? Just a weird move. And Dana kind of going a little off his rocker once again. We're seeing Papa Dana kind of get bent out of shape over the minorest things, and while letting other people basically murder somebody. And he actually releases a statement to protect them. Anyways, moving right along. Papa Dana doing it right. That brings us to UFC 244. Sizing up to be one hell of a card. Coming down. Could be the card of the year, obviously, is what they're really pushing for this one. They've just announced 2 huge fights on that card now. Lyman Good, the New York native, keep getting these New York fights. Good for him, because I actually think he has quite the following in New York. Going to be taking on Chance Rincoutri. I really actually like this matchup. 2 dudes who are kind of on the upswing right now, and I think mark your calendars for this one, because this is going to be a banging match. I think this is going to be 2 very well-rounded dudes going at it toe-to-toe, and I've always liked Lyman Good's fights. I've never been like a real personal fan of him, but he really puts on good shows, and we'll see another one here. Mark my words on that one. The other big fight that was announced for this one, Darren Till will officially be taking on Kevin Gastelum at 185. Man, do they throw Darren Till to the wolves in Kevin Gastelum? Well, what I thought was funny was a battle of the 2 dudes who couldn't make 170. Yeah. That's what it is. Battle of the overweight dudes.
That's what I'm booing, man. It's like they give him the smallest 185.
Yeah,
for his first fight at 185.
That's what's kind of crazy about it, is that, you know what I mean? Exactly that. They were both kind of those dudes, right? Yeah. So they gave him the easiest one. Where you know what I mean? When they made Luke Rockhold go to 205, they give him Jan Blachowicz, who's asking for the belt shot right now. I don't really see it, but still, you know what I mean? They give him a tough test, and Kevin Gastelum's no slouch, but it is. Not at all. But for size-wise, exactly that. They gave him the smallest 185, which I want to see how they size up. 2 dudes couldn't make 170. You know what I mean? Obviously, Kevin Gastelum was the interim champ and had this title shot against Darren Till, who, maybe, I guess, obviously he did fight for the belt, but I just don't see, I don't see him winning it. That's for damn sure. Who do you think takes it, Kelly?
Probably Kevin Gastelum. I always liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Even though he's a small 185, he's always been like my favorite in most of his fights.
Yeah.
So
me too.
I'm gonna go with him. Gastelum.
Me too. I'm going Gastelum too. I never really liked Darren Till.
I don't mind him.
I think it's when he knocked out Cerrone. I just didn't like him after that.
Yeah.
Made me not like him. That's what happens in MMA. You knocked out my favorite fighter, so now I hate you. I don't care how good you are. That card's shaping up. Derek Lewis versus Bagloy Ivanov. Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker. Darren Till, obviously Gastelum. And I think I can't remember, there was a title bout announced for this one too, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But I'm excited. They really have to give an official announcement for that title. But oh yeah, Gregor Giuseppe is kind of he wanted to call out Anthony Pettis, kind of a weird call out over, especially after he just lost. So. And apparently had actually quite injured his foot against Nate Diaz. So I thought that was kind of a weird call out. I think Gregor is kind of like, I've been quiet. He's a quiet, nice guy. And he's like, okay, here, I'll call. You want me to call somebody else? I'll call somebody else. And I don't think he knows how calling out works yet. So, so you can't call out some dude who's going to be on the shelf for 6 months. Because obviously he's a New York native as well. He would love to be on that card as well. But, obviously, the main event is Usman versus Covington. It's targeted for it. It's not official yet. But do we see another title belt go on the line at UFC 244 at Madison Square Garden, New York, going down November 2nd? Mark your calendars. It's going to be a good card. Lots of banging matches. I think Darren Till versus Gastelum actually leaves a lot to be desired. I think what it could be two dudes stand in the middle of the ring and punch each other in the face. So it could turn out to be a good stylistically wise. I think it actually could turn out to be quite a match.
It's gonna be either for the Snickers belt or the baddest motherfucker live belt, Nate Diaz. It's the other belt.
People are just gonna be bringing their own belts to the ring. You may be onto something with this, Kelly. Everyone just
should totally do that.
Come with your own belt to the ring, and if you lose, hand it over to the other dude. And dude could have 20 different belts of all silliness. The Skittles belt, the Popeyes belt. You know what I mean? All these different belts. You know what I mean? The West Coast belt, the East Coast belt. You know what I mean? I like that idea, huh? You may be onto something, Kelly. You may be onto something, man. What was the other announcement? Oh, yes, Mickey Gall will be taking on Carlos Condit. Kind of a weird one. I feel sorry for Mickey Gall, really. That's one hell of a step up in competition. Even if Carlos Condit has lost 4 fights in a row, you know, I mean, he was a real, he is the natural born killer. And he had a real mean streak with him, you know what I mean? Probably 5 years ago, I guess, maybe longer. 10 years ago, he was really, really good. I think that's just the problem. The guy's been fighting for 20 years. Fighting in Pancrase over in Japan for a long time, and then, making his way over, didn't really make it to the UFC until kind of the end of his career, really. And the thing about Carlos Condit as well, he's came from a wealthy family. He doesn't have to fight. Right? He doesn't even have to work. You know what I mean? So the fact that the dude was as tough as he was and as gifted as an athlete as he was quite remarkable. Just to be able to wake up every day when you could have, easily taken the easy route to wake up every day, go to the gym, work your ass off, and get punched in the face. You know what I mean? But good for him. But Mickey Gall, what a weird matchup. UFC ESPN 7, December 7th. That will go down. That's going to be on the card with Alistair Overeem. So it's an interesting matchup though. But I'm just so confused. Constant question marks here because I am just so confused why they would put Mickey Gall really, loses to Diego Sanchez, gets kind of a win against a nobody, and then now they throw him to Carlos Condit. And to Carlos Condit to be able to go down, fighting the dude who beat CM Punk. I think your career has kind of gone downhill if you're going to that. And kind of a weird pickup. Maybe is this Carlos Condit's retirement bout? Maybe is that what it is? But kind of an odd matchup. I thought Carlos Condit was honestly done his last fight, but we'll see what happens. December 7th, interesting matchup to say the least. I am going to tune in just because of how confused I am. That's for damn sure. Really. Huge news for the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship with the recent signing of Antonio Bigfoot Silva. They have found his opponent, fellow black belt BJJ competitor Gabriel Gonzaga. Kind of a weird matchup, you know what I mean? I like it, but it is, just for the fact they are two huge dudes, but they're grapplers. You got two grapplers fighting in a bare knuckle boxing organization. Kind of an odd matchup, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Out of all the dudes, especially two dudes who have glass chins, two dudes who had kind of went to the European circuit, hoping to make a bit of a name for themselves in a resurgence, and that is not the case. Bigfoot losing 6 of his last 7 fights outside the UFC, and 5 of those were by knockout. You know what I mean? For being knocked out. That's not a good stat. I think I think it could be Gabriel Gonzaga's win. Really, I think the problem with Gabriel Gonzaga we've seen time and time again is it doesn't seem like he looks like he likes to fight once he's in the middle of the ring. It's not like he actually likes to fight. How will he come out? I have no clue, but it's we're going to see a knockout. I can guarantee that one. High, I bet you the betting odds for first round knockout are going to be terrible because I think that's what we're going to see. What do you think of the matchup, Kelly? Did you like it or do you not like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think Bigfoot's going to come in like juice in a gills, though, just fucking being able to take a sledgehammer to the face like he used to. I think he might win. I think he probably will. No,
I think so too. Just because Gabriel Gonzaga, he has a hard time pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And size-wise, he's got the reach too, so maybe that'll help out Bigfoot, having that big reach. I think either way, you're going to start attracting heavyweights from these different things. Maybe get a old football player or something like that. Maybe something like that, a local bare knuckle guy, now that you're kind of trying to legitimately make a heavyweight division here. So I think it's a good move by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, just to try to turn heads, and good for them. Good for them. I'm not super excited about it. I'll watch it, but I'm not super excited about it, to tell you the truth. But like I said, I'll watch it just to see who wins, really. Going down on in October. So that's October, really going to be ramping up. Clear schedule, that's for damn sure. Other news coming out of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Rumble Johnson is set to return, telling his manager, put the word out there, I'm coming back 2020 to the UFC at heavyweight. So I think obviously with the exit of Daniel Cormier, or the soon-to-be thereof exit of Daniel Cormier, we see Rumble Johnson say, hey, yeah, I'll step in. There's a lot of easy wins out there for me and a lot of easy paychecks I could be leaving on the table. And I think, a dude who really left at the top of his game, finding himself at 205 and, getting the title shot, and then, now coming back at heavyweight, and he can kind of pick and choose his fights. I think that's what's going to separate him from other dudes who need the fights and who need the wins. Maybe they're pushing for it. Maybe we see a relaxed, obviously with the weed business, we'll see a very relaxed Rumble Johnson come in, and maybe that helps him. Maybe he comes into the fights relaxed, prepared, mentally there, and put some beatings on some dudes because it is not the end for him. He doesn't have that weight on his shoulders for a must win. I'm actually really excited for that bout. I think the list is endless, really. Do we see him fight John Jones at heavyweight? Does he get a new contender coming up? Do we, maybe do we see him on the show or something like that? Do we see a heavyweight, classic heavyweight show? Kind of a reunion heavyweight show for the UFC. I think that'd be great for Ultimate Fighter. Obviously having any kind of Ultimate Fighter, which is, it's in the works. The show isn't done, but they have no announcement, no screenings, no anything planned yet. But it is announced that the show isn't over yet. I think obviously with the highlight and the success of the Contender Series, it's people are liking it. People want to see the drama, and I think with heavyweights, I think you can have a bit of drama in the show. Possibilities are endless for a full heavyweight show, obviously, and does Rumble kind of become that ambassador to come on it, to become a coach, or do we see a reunion show of all these older heavyweights coming back to the UFC, and they make their way onto it through the show? Anyone on top of your head stands out, Kelly, that you think Rumble should fight at heavyweight?
Shane Carwin, and come back.
There you go. You're rounding the show out right yourself, right there, man. Yeah, I like that. So I think Shane Carwin was supposed to fight in Bellator or in Japan on Ryzen or something like that, and then he got a bad back injury, and then that was it. He's like, nah, going back to being an engineer. Fuck this. So I thought that was kind of weird. He just never injured his back really, really badly, and realized, hey, I am officially done. Because I think he's in his 40s. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's. And for a huge dude like him, how muscular he was, just kind of an easy to pack it up.
Tim Sylvia.
Now you're getting even better. I like that. Pretty sure Tim Sylvia is a super heavyweight now, though. It's a weight division.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It would be good.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou. Well,
there's a lot of dudes that, it's kind of bunched up at the front right now, even Alistair Overeem, somebody like that. I would like that matchup. It's kind of a bunch up right now.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
He wants to fight Johnny Jones Bones.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Brock Lesnar fights Rumble. I think he only fights for money fights now, that's for damn sure. Speaking of money fights, Ken Shamrock making his return. Yes, that Ken Shamrock making his return to wrestling. Pro wrestling. He'll be making his return to Impact of all places. September 5th and September 6th. I guess he wrestled in Impact back in the early 2000s. after WWE, because I guess Impact did have a lot of throwing around money at that time, and they were trying to garner a lot of these rejects after the collapse of WCW. So he has wrestled there before, so it's it is easy to wrestle, but still, if you saw the promo picture, he looks old. He looks incredibly old now, and and it's just kind of a weird matchup. Like you were talking about, Kelly, seeing him, fight like a long time ago, like in the late 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing him wrestle then even.
He looked old back then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? He looked really old back then. So you can imagine 20 years later how old he can look, because 99 is 20 years ago for him. You know what I mean? And he'd already been in MMA for quite some time at that time. Even though MMA really wasn't what it was back in that day. He came over to wrestling because it was obviously going to make him more money than UFC at that time. I thought it was weird though. How desperate is this dude for money? Or did Impact come to him and say, "Hey, you got any matches left in you? We're desperate for talent right now.
We want someone who looks like the Undertaker, but without the makeup."
He's just straight dead. They just wheel him into the ring. You're hilarious, man. I thought it was odd move though. Only 2 days though. I guess in Vegas, Impact's kind of doing like a tour show. I'm not really liking their roster right now. I feel sorry for Johnny Mundo for having be on that roster, but you must have signed a pretty good contract because he's a big name over there. I can see just Ken Shamrock coming down and talking a little bit, and then someone comes and ruins it, and then he beats them both up, and that's what's gonna happen. I mark my words, exactly what's gonna happen. Some team's gonna come down and get in his face, and they're gonna say how he's old, and then they're gonna get beat up by him. Huge news, but with little details. Karate Combat will return September 21st. Kind of no details. They just kind of had a quick little ad that it would be returning. I'm excited. The rumor is this card is going to be in Brazil, so it should be cool for that. And there's going to be tournament implications in this. They're going to have that money belt, I think, again. It's been a while since the last Karate Combat. I think they may have fizzled themselves a little bit with the fans because they are showing a lot of promotional videos on their social media and shit like that, but you got to have the cards. I think it's been close to 6 months since their last card, if not more. I think it was like in March or something like that. So they got to have at least 4 cards a year, I think, to be relevant, to put on a show that people are going to remember, people are going to want more of. Because now I think the steam has kind of been let out of the kettle a little bit with this one, and they've kind of boiled themselves dry.
Will the planes be able to land through the smoke from the Amazon rainforest?
Ooh.
To Brazil?
Wow. Maybe they won't go to Brazil then. Yeah, good call. Because remember when we had bad forest fires here a few years ago, that was a problem. There was some times when planes couldn't land. So I could guarantee there's a lot of airports that are being affected by that. Huh. Great.
Some places are like blacked out right now.
Oh, big time. Big time. It's like the middle of the day and the streetlights are on.
Yeah.
It's so dark out.
We have that.
Yeah, we had that too, exactly. So I can't imagine down there it's gonna be like times 10. You know what I mean? So it's gotta be pretty crazy. Hopefully you get some rain down there and they can see some resolution to that huge problem that's going on. Obviously, rainforest is so massive when it burns. It must burn like a son of a bitch. That's pretty crazy news going on down there. But maybe they don't go to Brazil for that. Maybe that was the problem. They were going to announce a card, and then all of a sudden this shit went down, and they had to kind of reschedule. Maybe that's what happened too. I could see that happening. Where they end up, possibilities are endless. Hopefully, if they come to Vancouver, I can get some tickets, or somehow get invited to the show. That'd be fucking amazing. Would that ever be cool to go to a live Karate Combat event? The events are always so cool, so exclusive. And they just look damn cool. To be able to go to that would be so much fun. That'd be fucking killer. Possibilities are endless. Where they go, they become very global, especially with their roster, how global it is. I'd like to see them go to Africa, honestly, to tell you the truth. They have a lot of African immigrants that have moved to America and started their own Karate Combat gyms. It obviously must be super popular there. So I would love to see them actually go to Africa, anywhere in Africa, really. I think that would be really cool. If you want my bet, that's what I'm betting for. Let's talk some video games. Just playing Orna. Got unfortunately just riding around. I had a great day yesterday riding around, but during the week I got absolutely crushed. I had this big stronghold of all my places, and this big dude who's kind of the bully around the neighborhood, around the lower mainland, just came in and wiped through me. I'm pretty sure he's GPS hacking, but I don't care. It's just still love playing the game. Still got tons of other areas. And I had 150 at one point. Dude, I lost 70 areas in 2 days. Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking it's pretty tough to take that many areas in one day. So that's what I was thinking. This guy must be hacking or something. Whatever, I don't care. I want one day, not too far down the road, I'm gonna be strong enough to be able to fight him. So that's why it's really kind of working against him in that fact. It's driving me to play the game more. Just get this son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But it's still, I'm actually really having a fun time with it still. Looks like the maintenance is done on the game. So the game is lightning fast again, folks. If you had a hard time and you put it down because it was a little bit laggy there because of all the new people joining, join back up now because the game is lightning fast. The creator has added new servers to the system to help with all the new people coming through. Everything is lightning fast. There's new raid bosses. It looks like every month now he's going to add a new raid boss. There was one last month that was super tough, and Merlin. And then there's a new one just came out this month. Today because it's tomorrow. No, today is the first. Yeah, today is the first. Because of that. So there's a new raid boss as well. So that's kind of a lot of fun and just all the different things. I'm climbing the ranks again to the next tier upgrade, and I am really excited with Orna. Rode my bike around tons. Still tons of little hidden neighborhoods there that aren't claimed and different things. That's just the treasure hunting of the game. Physically being out there and treasure hunting virtually, I just find it so satisfying for some weird reason. I'm just so in love with this game just for that. You never know what you're going to find. The bosses you're going to fight, the dungeons you're going to find. Out and about in the middle of nowhere, I went down a biking trail. I got a good little stronghold of this massive park because it's just a biking trail. So I biked all through it. I had just an absolute blast by myself. I think that's a little bit of it too. When I rode with my buddy, it was a lot of fun too, but kind of just being by myself, it's super relaxing, and it's almost like a zen moment almost, just riding through and powering through different areas just to hopefully along the horizon there will be some kind of special item or boss to fight. Loving the game. Didn't play much Zelda this weekend. Got at least some of it in. I'm just having a hard time right now. There are only 2 areas I could really go to, or these hot areas. I don't really have a whole hell of a lot of hot gear. I've been all this cold weather gear and missing on the hot level gear shit. So kind of been poking my head in and out of them and having a hard time. I came across this crazy tower though, Kelly. It's like the bottom of it's like a bottomless pit. Like they made the bottom of this tower. It's like super tall. Like, and the towers are where like you get the tower and you activate it with your slate, and then it'll open up the map for that region. And this one here, only reason why I got to is I climbed a mountain that was even higher than it, and then I glided down to it. And it was a crazy far glide I had to get to, but I get to it and I'm like, I can't even see the fucking bottom. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how the hell would I have climbed up from this from the top? And you can see it from a distance how tall it is. It's far too tall to climb on one go. So I glided down to it, and there's a dude up there, a bird dude up there. You talk to him, and so I'm like, okay, I want to. I'm at the top of it. I'm like, at least when you get to the top of them, you then now have a place where I can jump to all the time, right? I can always. That's the nice thing about the game. I can always warp to those spots, the shrines you can warp to too, but I can always warp back to the towers. No matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I can always warp. So I'm like, I'll go down to the bottom and see what's down there. It's nothing. It's a fucking bottomless pit. You get so far down low. You eventually just die. I'm like, what the fuck? So I thought that was kind of fun. I came across a few tough bosses, but man, the stone guys are tough. The one was an ice one, Kelly. And he would just, when he threw a snowball, and if his snowball touched me, like even if the blast of it touched me, I'd get frozen by it, and it was really fucking me up. But what was so cool, I thought in the game too, was, you know what I mean? I'm fighting an ice boss. What do? I'm gonna fucking hit him with a flame arrow. So I hit him with a flame arrow, and he turns into stone. Like he just shakes all the snow off of him. He was just a stone guy with a bunch of snow on him. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little touch. And then he had a harder time doing his ice moves against me because he wasn't ice. So I thought that was a really cool little touches like that. I thought were just absolutely amazing. I eventually had to book it from him. He just was really, really tough. I got to do some more cooking again. That's the one thing about the game. You could spend a lot of time cooking. Like, you could easily spend an hour cooking and not, just to, every once in a while, you got to do a big cookout. If you're going to roam the world like I do and get my ass kicked all the time. But it's really been a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of mountain climbing recently because, just finding the odd. I've got a ton of the shrines now. So I think finding shrines now is going to be much harder than it was before. But I'm just having a lot of fun climbing the mountains and getting to the top. And there's always like these snowballs you can throw down and the different things. Now I'm finding these more remote areas. There's like treasure chests like that are buried in the ground. So you got to like pull them out of the ground with your magnet power. And then they usually actually drop you a lot of money actually. So kind of I haven't really seen anybody, climbing these mountains. You don't see any NPCs. You see, a decent amount of different types of enemies. These lizard dudes, the ice lizard dudes. And then I went to the kind of the desert area. It's really, really hard down there though. Since I don't have any of the anti-heat gear, I'm really getting hurt a lot. I can make the food, but the food only lasts for so long that they're going to be heat resistant. So that's the thing about the game. I don't want to spoil this shit. I want to figure it out on my own. I don't want to figure it. Check it out. Online. It's so easy. To be able to go online and just read what I need to do next. But I really want to do it for myself on this game. So I think that's the thing I'm coming up across right now is I'm almost at that point where I'm like, I don't know how to get into this city. I got to get into the city. They only let women into the city. And I can't figure it out. I tried to glide in. Couldn't glide in. And they just, even if I climb the walls, they find me and they kick me out instantly. So I don't want to read up, but I think I'm going to have to read up. But having a lot of fun with it still. Still having a lot of fun with it. Just exploring and doing what I do in Zelda. How about you, Kelly? What's the WoW verdict?
It's pretty good. It's just how I remember it back in 2004, whenever it came out. It's pretty cool, just like running around like the big cities and stuff. Like, I guess I started 3 characters, just to figure out which one I really wanted to play because it's gonna spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
I used to have a gnome warlock, but I decided to try the warrior, and I didn't like that. I played it to like level 10. Played a mage.
What kind of warrior did you make?
It's just like a night elf warrior.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just want it to be as big as possible. If you're gonna tank, you might as well be the most visible, right?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really like that. So then I tried a mage. It was like a gnome mage, and it was okay. But I really liked the warlock, so I just went with warlock again. So I've just been leveling him up. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, warlocks are fun. I've always liked the warlock too. Obviously summoning the buddy, having the buddy with you all the time.
Yeah.
I think I would go hunter. I think that was the one thing that was like the first character I ever was, and I never went back to it.
Yeah, hunter's pretty good.
Yeah, hunter's fun. Just for the DPS, having the pets. Getting the different pets.
Yeah.
Is it like just like textbook right like the beginning, like the first one, like
pretty much just like the beginning.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna like add to it. So basically, once you hit level 60, you can just do like dungeons, or you can do P versus P, right? And that's like the best thing because like with the other version of WoW, there's so many expansions, and it's like just a level cap. You're gonna be playing forever, man.
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
as like just coming into it. And yeah, there's a lot of like the original stuff that's gone now in the newer versions. And it's just kind of cool, like visiting all these places that like have changed, but now they're just how you remember them back in the day.
Yeah, like the memory, exactly. The memory's coming back to it, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I'm thinking about getting it. I'm thinking about getting it, just for that.
Fun.
No, absolutely. And I think there's always the fun part too is playing with buddies too, right?
Yeah,
that's what made the game fun. Obviously, having your team, going around and doing that shit, and doing the dungeons. Obviously, was a ton of fun and shit like that. But obviously, it's every game really. That's an easy analogy. Every game is better with friends.
And they took out the weather effects in the old, like the new game or whatever. So the one they brought back classic, now they have rain and stuff like that. Oh, cool. And yeah, it's just super cool. Yeah, you should definitely play it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm super interested because I did like the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And just since you don't have to buy the game, you just gotta buy the subscription, which
yeah, you
bad.
Basically download like the WoW starter.
Yeah,
and then you download like WoW Classic or whatever, And then you just buy this subscription. You don't have to buy like the actual game at all.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think that's what's going to be popular for people. Obviously, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is it just the fact you don't have to buy the game? You know, I think it's just with the way the video games are going, everything's going to be a subscription now. And you know, what I mean, I think Blizzard's kind of always been on the cutting edge of that. You know what I mean? It's a great community. They update it all the time for how big it is. I think a lot of people, no one's ever really been upset with buying the prescription. There's the subscription. Can you use in-game gold? I guess you could use in-game gold to play too, because I know you can transfer in-game gold into actual WoW credits, right?
I am not sure about that.
So that'd be something interesting as well. Just because I know you can do it in the actual WoW game, but can you do that? Does that transfer over for WoW Classic?
It should.
Yeah, because if you have like a WoW subscription, you can play WoW Classic for free, basically. Yeah. So you definitely do. So that's kind of interesting too. Huh.
I'm playing a little bit of Apex, not really though.
Yeah.
They haven't changed anything yet.
Yeah.
So.
Do they get rid of single player, or do they still have it?
I think they got rid of it. Can't remember.
Wow.
I didn't even look though. I haven't been playing too much of it. Mostly WoW.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I think you've sold me, Kelly. What a sales job you've done. I think I'm gonna go home and get it. Maybe today even.
Yeah, it's fun because. Like, you can run it on a laptop or anything.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of times when I'm just, like, watching Netflix with the family or whatever, I'm just, like, playing it on the side as well.
Yeah.
So.
Just damn video games. I still got, Zelda I'm hammering on. But, I'm kind of, the reason why, because I'm kind of at a lull right now. I'm at, the two plays I have to go to are really hard. I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, this is tough.
Well, because it's, like, vanilla, like, classic WoW, too, there's a lot of places where like once you get a high enough level you kind of run out of quests,
right?
So what you got to do is just kill shit to level up,
right?
And that's like the grind of World of Warcraft,
right?
But the good thing is you only have to do that once because like I said they're not going to keep upgrading it and updating like new worlds and stuff like that.
I just may. Lots of games coming out soon. You know, we got the with winter comes the video game season too, right? So I'm excited. You know, with the announcement of NFL coming up, next week. I've started my football fantasy league again this year. I'm really excited about that, and hockey right around the corner, basketball, and it looks like we're gonna have one hell of an MMA season too, with all the video games and shit like that coming down. Let's hopefully don't see a debacle like we saw last year with the total dumps that they laid on us with Fallout and with Anthem. So let's hopefully, a Cyberpunk game is coming out too. Let's hope that all these video game companies realized if we push this game out and it's a total flop, it could ruin us. And hopefully we won't see it again. Let's move right along here. Back by popular demand, reviewing the reviews. I wanted to do something a little different this week. Switching it up. I've been doing nothing but local places, local to us here, so I can kind of get a feel, of it. Maybe I've tapped that out. Maybe I've tapped it out, Kelly. I don't know. So what I want to do this week is since I had a bit of an odd altercation with a dude at 7-Eleven, I want to do 7-Eleven, but not any local 7-Eleven. I want to do a 7-Eleven somewhere else in the world. So I picked 7-Eleven New York City. That's what I'm going with here. It was kind of a weird little. It wasn't like it's something kind of I was like thinking about afterwards. First of all, I get there. I've been playing Orna all day, and I'm dying of thirst. So I'm going to get some Gatorade. So park my bike, but I have like my phone in like a little like a holder thing on the handlebars, right? So obviously I can't play with one hand the whole time. That'd be ridiculous. I go into the store, but I didn't remember to take my phone off the holder. So I got my bike outside of a 7-Eleven with my phone still on it. Yeah. And I'm like looking around for food. I'm like, what do I want? And then I realize, oh shit, my phone. So I rush back outside. Thank God my phone was still there. It was only a few minutes, but I get some drinks. And there's like a family ahead of me, and they all have free coupons for Slurpees. So they all hand in their free three, dad and his 2 kids, and they all hand in their 3 coupons. And they're thinking, okay, bye, see ya. And the guy's like, no. And he's like, you gotta give me your phone number for every free coupon. And he's like, what the hell? So for these free coupons, and I'm standing behind him, I'm like, oh my god, it took like 7 minutes. Yeah. So the guy's he's got to scan each individual one. What's your phone number? What's your email? Each individual time. I'm like, what the hell is this?
That's crazy.
So again for the one kid, and again for the other kid. Finally, I get up to the front, and he's like, they got to push their stuff. I just put my stuff down. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, do you want this? Do I want like this raspberry strudel or something like that? I'm like, no thanks. And then I'm like, he's like, oh, do you have the app? I'm like, yeah, I got the app. And then he asked me something else too. I didn't really hear what he said. But I think now afterwards, I thought he was offering me something else again, like, oh, do you want to buy this? And I said, I just want the drinks. That's all I want. But I think he actually asked me like how my day was. I think he actually asked like, are you having a good day on the bike, or like riding your bike around? And what a rude response for me to say, I'm just here for the drinks here, buddy. Homie, I don't need your chit chat. I just want to pay for my drinks and leave. But I did, like I said, I thought he was offering. But then after I'm walking out, I'm realizing, I don't think he asked me. I think he asked me something about my bike. So I thought, what a piece of shit I was to respond with, no, don't want to hear it. You're going to get my answer. Just here for the drinks. Because when I gave him my app to scan, there was nothing on my app. Like, I didn't get any points or nothing for the 7-Eleven app. So I think he's like, fuck this guy. Yeah. Oh, a little bit of funniness. But, so that's why I want to do a 7-Eleven in New York City, New York. This one here is only 41 reviews, like most 7-Elevens. They don't have a ton of reviews. A lot of people don't give a shit enough to review 7-Eleven, I guess. 3 stars. I just picked some random one. There's 70 of them in New York. So let's take a look here. And there's a lot of hate. Oddly enough, for all those reviews. Let's get started right off the bat. First review. Not that my New York accent isn't the best, but I'll try to sprinkle it in there. I'll try to sprinkle in a New York accent there. First person, just 17 reviews, 1 photo. Saw the sign in the window, $1 coffee with app. Went in and bought coffee and 2 donuts to pay, and counter person charged me regular price for the coffee. I asked about the promo, and he said the computer was offline. So then how did he scan it? Yeah. So there was no way he could give me the promo. So maybe he should have taken the sign down. Maybe post a sign stating the computer was offline and they wouldn't honor the promo. Not a good experience. It felt like bait and switch. They're really scamming you on that coffee and 2 donuts. It cost them a whole 5 cents. You know what I mean? Probably cost this dude, like $4. Even still. Odd. Very odd. I like this one because they have like a picture, and it's almost like they got into it with the store clerk, so they took a picture of the store clerk calling somebody. I like this one. I like this one a lot. And I'm just gonna name their name because their name is New York. It's 2 reviews, 1 photo, 1 star here. Very rude employees. One of name is B. They did not accept my hot food coupon last week. When I make a call to 7-Eleven customer service, that guy B told me get outside if I want to make a phone call. And another guy who says I'm manager here person in I don't That's a tough one. Manager in picture, but asking about we accepting coupons or not is another employee. They both were lying. I have no clue what the hell they're even talking about there. I can't even make out the last bit there. That was rough. And then here's a picture of them taking a picture. They just wanted to buy some chips. And there's a picture of them taking a picture of the guy behind the counter making a phone call. And then that last bit there, I can't make any sense of what the hell they're even talking about. It's pretty whacked out. New York really showing some good stuff here. I'm liking it. All right, another pissed off person here. This is hilarious. VS, only 2 reviews, 1 star, 3 months ago. I found a pube in my taco. I didn't know they had, like, I guess American 7-Eleven's different. Do they have just I don't think they have tacos down there that you just, like, maybe taquitos. Do they have tacos down there you just fill out? Like, do they, like, someone in the back is like a tray of meat and they just put meat into a taco?
No idea.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. How did that pube get in this dude's taco? Or is he making a sexual reference? I don't know. Fill me in, American fans. Do you guys have tacos? Like fucking self-serve taco machines in 7-Eleven? I don't think so. Oh my god, that is too funny. How did that pube get there? Here you go. Here's another. We'll make this one short and sweet. Finish off with this one here. Where is it here? All right. I think there's 2 people I think were both hitting on them both hitting them the same time. I like this one though. I like this one. BC, 12 reviews, 6 photos, 1 star, 9 months ago. Disgusting food. I had a sausage biscuit and a spicy chicken sandwich. Chicken was cold and very chewy, like rubber. The sausage biscuit was very cold and chewy. You know it's bad when it's bad when your sausage biscuit is chewy. The biscuit tastes like cardboard. And to top it off, the employees were very rude and speaking a foreign language while laughing, looking towards me as they knew I was buying old stale food. I would never eat in any 7-Eleven ever again. There's like 10 exclamation points. You know, it's bad, like, when you're going to 7-Eleven, that's why I wanted to end on this one, Kelly. You're going to 7-Eleven for the food. It's a place for snacks.
Yeah. For
crap like that. You know, hey, you're in a rush, maybe buy some chicken wings or something like that. But I definitely would not go to 7-Eleven to buy food on purpose. You know what I mean? To actually go in there and buy the pizza, or buy the chicken wings, it's all mystery meat. And to go in there and buy a spicy chicken sandwich? You're playing with fire here, pal. but to have the people stand there and laugh at you, that takes the cake. Pretty good. One person was pretty funny. It was just they were just more commenting on the wow, this person's a psycho. 412 reviews, 1,600 photos. I guess in New York you got a lot of shit you can do on, but there's happy they had coffee. It was nothing special. Gave him 3 stars. Oh man, good work, New York. I think we may be onto something new here, Kelly, with doing an international thing. I like it. An international thing. Maybe we'll do something like some whacked out place. Let me know. Hit us up on Twitter if you want us to review some place in your neighborhood. If you want me, what voices I should do in whacked out places, different places that we don't know about. You know, funky restaurants, something you know that's gonna work. Hit us up on Twitter, folks. With that being said, we are running late here. We will just take a quick little breather. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
We at Walterium are sad to announce that we're going bankrupt. Unfortunately, we grossly underestimated or overestimated the average person's yearly water budget by millions of dollars. Everything in our possession is for sale and up for auction, and we apologize to our investors. Thank you to the Anu podcast for being part of something that could have been great. I'm sorry it couldn't work out. I don't know what to tell you. It's a loaf of water for millions of dollars.
From all of us at the Water Company, we would just like to thank all the hard work Stephen and Kelly have done with their ad campaign for Waterium. Stephen and Kelly from the Ad New podcast, keep up the great work. Who knew a loaf of water wouldn't be as popular as we've drawn it up? Thanks again, guys. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our commercials and go you grab yourself a cold, tall glass of water on the house. We had a great night of boxing, I thought, and a so-so night of MMA going down in Sichuan, China. Let's get to the boxing first here. Vasily Lomachenko taking on Luke Campbell. Great fight. I thought it was really, really good. 12 rounds of just amazing boxing, really. 2 gold medalists, Kelly. Both these dudes had gold medals. Both had won them in... Lomachenko has 2 gold medals, actually, and Luke Campbell has 1. They both actually won gold medals, oddly enough, crazy enough, really, in London when the Olympics were in London. So that's kind of a cool little thing. You know, they both won medals in their weight division in London, which was kind of cool. They both were there at the same time. Just a little interesting, little bit of 6 degrees of separation between these dudes. But I guess if you're, the smaller weight classes in Europe and you both won gold medals and you're both at the top of your game, you're definitely going to be turning heads and eventually may meet each other. So it was really cool. Just the gold medals. Boxing, man, it's kind of cutthroat. I was trying to think of it. Lomachenko is really kind of being promoted as the headliners of these cards, and I'm really liking them because they're free on TV here in Canada. On TSN, and I'm really enjoying them. The undercards aren't bad, but we see this few of these now where Lomachenko is headlining these cards, being promoted as the headliner, and he's a smaller dude. He's 135, and I'm actually really liking it, but really I don't know if maybe that one loss on his record is something that is really counting against him, because he's only 14-1. He really is a younger fighter in the ranks of boxing, where we normally see these people like 20-0 or 30-0. Is that one loss is what I was kind of questioning myself, is the reason why he's not really at a higher level than he is. He's obviously getting paid because he's headlining these cards. But man, is it ever, it's cutthroat when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm talking about, Kelly? If that guy has that one loss, he's really kind of discarded. Yeah. And no one really gives a shit about him. It's kind of odd, you know what I mean? But man, did we ever see a technical style matchup tonight. I really loved how this fight played out. It was so technical. With Luke Crawford really had a great game plan out right off the bat, really pawing him to keep him at distance, throwing that counter punch low, because he really had telegraphed Lomachenko. Really, he does come in low, so really to round up with that punch when he would come in after 2 punches and then duck down, he hit him most times. And what I really loved about Crawford, Kelly, was he had this crazy move where he would bait Lomachenko in, but then he already knew that Lomachenko, as soon as he came in, he was going to go right back out again. And he had a crazy timing with this, Kelly, where every time he would back up, he would actually do a real big step forward and then get this punch in. It was lightning fast. It was just so beautiful. That's what I really actually liked about this. I've never really been a huge boxing fan. I like boxing for being a combat sport, and I'll watch like the heavyweight bouts, but this Lomachenko guy is really doing it for me. And this match against Crawford, I thought was a really great match. I really loved it from start to finish, to tell you the truth. Full 12 rounds. We see Lomachenko really start turning it on the later rounds, which he usually does, and the 11th round getting that knockdown. It was only a matter of time before he kind of caught Crawford and to the body. This dude just hits so heavy to the body. Crawford really didn't really like any of those body shots, and we see him get the knockdown and have Crawford has to take the knee from all those body shots. Great showing by Lomachenko. He got tagged a few times himself too, showing he's not invincible. But all around, I gave it a straight 5-star. I really enjoyed this fight. I really enjoyed it. The back and forth, and Campbell really put on a good showing in his hometown too. So Lomachenko going to London for this and beating their hometown guy, another in a gold medalist versus gold medalist. So I thought that was really, really cool. That brings us to UFC Fight Night 157. Jessica Andrade taking on Weili Zhang. in the Sichuan Universal Sports Center, Sichuan, China. Pretty terrible card on paper. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of shitty that they would have it. Have a title belt. You know what I mean? And for the women's division, is this once again, Kelly? I've been talking about the last few weeks here heavy now how the UFC does not give a shit about the women's division, and I think we kind of see it here a little bit with this. It's a title shot. Belts on the line, and really the other fights were really garbage. Really no names to name on at all. Really, a lot of obviously Asian fighters. Filipino, Korean, everywhere, Japanese fighters, and really no one really even to note, with the exception of Jialing Lee taking on Zaleski dos Santos. That was obviously a huge marquee matchup, but I wouldn't even say it even had title contendership even near both of those dudes.
I wasn't able to watch it, so I was talking to one of my buddies about it, and he said even the winners lost.
Wow. What a way to put it. Wow. What a diss. And then we see it here again, a lot of decisions, a lot of split decisions too. So, it's one of those things where it's that's not what you want to see. When you see these lower level cards, you want to see people going for it. And we hear all the hate for the Bellator card not having the competition, why there was all these finishes. Here we see a UFC card, really the names in the competition weren't there either, and they go to decision as well. So you got to really throw that argument out. Kind of a stupid argument to begin with. And we didn't have a very good card. Obviously the main event kind of saved the whole thing. But I don't know. We didn't get to see much. It's just shitty for Jessica Andrade, where she had to, basically defend her belt right away again. The first defense, so she doesn't even get the defense really. But it was quite a quick turnaround for her win against Rose to come back, and now actually have to go to somebody else's home turf, and then let Weili Zhang. We do have an new champion. But I'm kind of conflicted by this one. I like Weili Zhang. I think she's very tough. She had a good showing. She really beat the shit out of Jessica Andrade. Her bulldozing style really did not work well. She kind of came in saying that I'm not going to change a damn thing. I'm going to come in and do my thing. And obviously Weili Zhang's camp played hugely off of that, and having their biggest opportunity to play for the counterpunch. And she really hurt Andrade, obviously, right off the bat, with the punches. I thought there was a few close punches that were to the back of the head. I thought there was definitely a few that hit the back of the head of Jessica Andrade. But she did win fair and square. Those knees were heavy, and then when she went to the ground, it was all over. You can definitely tell she didn't want any more punishment and had no choice but to have the ref come and save her. And we have our first Chinese champ. Nice. So first Chinese champ and new Chinese champ and new women's champ. So we have two and news for the show here. So it is a monumental moment, with obviously it's a very good move for the UFC. Obviously now they have all those training centers over there. They're trying to tap an untapped market, not only for fighters, but also for viewers as well. You have a country where there's 3 billion people. If you have even a drop in the bucket of those people tuning into your show, it's going to be a lot of people viewing it. And so it's obviously a huge move for China. They're saying she's going to fight stateside next. Obviously, maybe Vegas, something like that. But I guess there was visa issues with her training camp, so her coach can't come to America right now. So she needs the UFC's help. That's what she's kind of come out and said. And the UFC's help to get my coach into the States because he has visa issues. So it's whatever happened, who knows? I'm sure we'll find out more about that down the road. But like I said, I'd have to give this card probably the lowest rating, I think. And the stupidest thing about it, I'm gonna give this card an F. You know what I mean? I'm giving this card straight up an F. It just wasn't, the rest of the card was shit. It really was. The main event was really the only saving. If that would have went to decision, man, people would have been talking about this as being terrible. But the main reason why I'm giving this card an F, the undercard, the prelims, even the pre-prelims, and the main event, you couldn't watch it unless you had the Fight Pass, which number one is stupid because the card is going to be on, I think the undercard started at 3 a.m. Pacific time for us. So now you've made it, it's already in a different time zone, number one. It's in a different country, number two. And then you're going to make it on the Fight Network, like on the UFC Fight Pass, which is, not too many people have anymore. So you really didn't want anybody to watch this card. You know what I mean? You really made it super, super limited for people not to really even want to watch this card, which is a super stupid move. Why not make it, sure, make it an Ultimate Fight Night, but make it on normal TV, so at least somebody could have recorded it and watch later on in the morning. So I thought it was a huge loss for that. Why they would have just done the Fight Pass, especially with all the ESPN stuff that they've been doing recently. I thought it was a very odd move. And, perfect example, Kelly, you didn't watch it.
No.
You know what I mean? And you didn't really care to watch it, but if it was free, you know what I mean? Maybe you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you would have still caught it at least. But now since it was in the middle of the morning at a, on a fight on a day like that, I thought it was a really stupid move. Another flop by UFC here with poor planning. Really poor planning. And it's just shitty how it went down that way. But it is nice to see an and new. It is nice to see a hashtag and new. Shout out to Dana White for giving us love at the and new podcast. He hashtagged us as well.
Nice.
Along with everyone else.
Nice.
Next week, though, obviously the huge card, UFC 242 going down. Really excited about that one. And this one I can understand why it's on in the morning, but it's a pay-per-view. So it's, if you can watch it, you can watch it. That's different. And it's a stacked card. It's not some nobodies, fighting underneath a championship in China, you know what I mean? So I can see why this one makes much more sense. We'll have a whole breakdown next week. Next week is going to be a busy one for me, folks. Hopefully I can get some more Orna in tonight. Do that. Just wanted to give a special shout out to everyone out there listening. Thank you for tuning in every week. I love you guys tuning in and checking out the show. Hit us up on Twitter for all the recent updates on when the show's going to be dropped at And New Podcast, the Stephen and Kelly and New Podcast. Episode number 50 next week, too, Kelly. Whew. What are we gonna... Still haven't really decided what we're gonna do, but whatever. Big things are coming down the pipe for the And New Podcast, and we just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in every week. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys like listening to us. And every week we keep grinding them out. Am I right, Kelly?
That's right. Get her done.
Yeah, get her done. All right, man. Well, the show ran along. You know what I mean? It's always I always love the organic evolution, how this show runs. I can never tell myself how much babbling I'm gonna do, and that's what I always love about it. Sometimes I think like I got too much to talk about, and sometimes I think I got too little to talk about. But I just love talking. Just love talking. Well then, folks, for producer and co-host extraordinaire Kelly, my name is Steven, and you've been listening to the And New Podcast. Signing off.